Time now for the Nick Hart Show, our weekly chat with the head coach of the Gibson Southern Titans, Nick Hart. It's brought to you by the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, including Absolute Custom Machine LLC, ADG Architecture and Design Group Limited, Angermeyer Electric, Brett's Car Care, A&T Concrete Supply, Brian Stevens Homes, Carriage Inn, Chips, SellMyTees.com, by Cordray Insurance Agency, LLC, Shelter Insurance, by Davis Brothers, Daylight Land Management, LLC, Daywig Meats of Hobstadt, Dilbeck Properties, Diversified Instruments, Duke Energy, Emerson Cattle Company, ERA First Advantage Realty, Rodney Langford, by Fast Break Convenience Stores, by Flanders, by Fort Branch Car Wash, Foster Construction, Bryman Land Service LLC, by Hobstadt Summerfest, by Heritage Federal Credit Union, Heritage Petroleum, Hillside Gardens Landscaping and Garden Center, HMC Gears, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Nathan Belote, by Jarbo Tax Service, JMCO Technologies, Johnson Commercial Mowing Incorporated, K&K Excavating Incorporated, Casey Fuquay, State Farm Agent, Kathy Solman Photography, Key Construction Company Incorporated, Kiesel Wagner Survey LLC, by Lively Machine Company, by Landscape Supply Incorporated, Lowry Ag, by Mytech Systems, Morton Solar LLC, by National Vet Health, by Ohio Valley Grain Inspection Incorporated, also by Parker Excavating, Perfect Climate Heating, Air and Plumbing, by Pole Concrete Construction, Prodigy Mold and Tool Incorporated, by Pro Rehab of Hobstadt, Prudential Advisors, The Barthel Agency, Rawhide Golf Supplies, Riano Family Fitness, Sandy's Pizza and Mini Storage, Shearer Monument, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Singleton's Country Kennel, Stodgel Funeral Home, Team Black Law, PC, by Tai Chow, The Brass Ring and Pizza Kitchen, The Image Inks Company, Titan Construction Partners, TYFL, the Titan Youth Football League, by Varnado Construction, Vomac Truck Sales and Service Incorporated, We Simply Clean, by Whitledge Tree Service, and Young's Auto Body. The Nick Hart Show, a special production of the Wabash Valley College Radio, TV, and Digital Media Department.
First, before the interview with Coach Hart, a look at the stats from last Friday's loss against South Warren. In the rushing game, Zach Foster, 13 attempts, 40 yards, a long of 17. Chase Thaxton, 8 attempts, 13 yards. Gunnar Alexander, 4 attempts, 17 yards, an average of 4.3. In the passing game, Zach Foster was 25 for 40 with 302 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and a passer rating of 119. In the receiving game, Grant Stinson, 6 receptions, 49 yards. Zach Foster, 1 reception, 4 yards. Maddox Potts, 9 receptions, 151 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. Gunnar Alexander, 2 receptions, 31 yards. Seth Parsons, 2 receptions, 20 yards. And Lloyd Sellers, 4 receptions, 48 yards, and a touchdown. Now to the interview with Coach Nick Hart. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Coach Nick Hart Show. I'm Riley Angel. Coach, last week, obviously coming off of your first loss of the season, but against a very good team, and I think that the team played excellent. What is your take on how you think the boys played on Friday?
Yeah, I thought we played really well. It was the best game we've played so far this year. Unfortunately, we didn't come out with the win. I think we led for all but the last 30 seconds of the game. Well, I guess we were down and we scored. had the lead for most of the game. Just weren't quite able to hang on there, and the goal's to win. So I don't care how good the team is or how much bigger the school is. Like none of that matters to us. The goal is to win the football game. We came up a little bit short, but I think there was a lot of positives to take out of it. The way we played. I thought offensively we took a big step forward. Defensively, we knew it was going to be a tough matchup with some of the weapons that they have, and their quarterback's a heck of a football player. I thought those guys fought really good, and we fought through some injuries that we had in the first half on the defensive side, and had some guys step up and play some pretty good football. So you go back, you look at the film, and we had some opportunities in the second half to either get off the field and keep them from scoring, or extend our drives. And I thought we made some great plays throughout the night, but just came up a play or two short there in the second half in order to get a win. But I think there's a lot of great things to build off of, because they're a very talented football team, and so I think our kids should be proud of their effort and what they did, and we have some good things to learn and build on, heading into a big part of our schedule here.
You mentioned the injuries. Bo Rose, one that wasn't able to come back into the game in that second half. Is there an update on Bo that you can give us?
Yeah, we don't have one at this time on either him or Maverick Deputy. So we'll just kind of see and let the medical people do their deal. We're not really sure where that we're at on those. Finney, the safety, Waylon played most of the game. He got on his interception, he got like a deep thigh bruise, and it just kind of tightened up as the game went on. So we're hopeful to get him back this week. I thought yesterday at practice he looked kind of ahead of schedule, but those thigh bruises can be tough deals. So we'll kind of work him through this week and see where he's at as well.
When we return to the Coach Nick Hart Show, we talk about the great receiving core of this Titans offense.
The Nick Hart Show on 89.1 The Bash is brought to you by Absolute Custom Machine LLC, ADG Architecture and Design Group Limited, Angermeyer Electric, A&T Concrete Supply, Brian Stevens Homes, Brett's Car Care, Carriage Inn, Chips, SellMyTees.com, by Cordray Insurance Agency, LLC, Shelter Insurance, by Davis Brothers, Daylight Land Management, LLC, Daywig Meats of Hobstadt, Dillbeck Properties, Diversified Instruments, Duke Energy, Emerson Cattle Company, ERA First Advantage Realty, Rodney Langford, by Fast Break Convenience Stores, by Flanders, by Fort Branch Car Wash, Foster Construction, Bryman Land Service LLC, by Hobstadt Summerfest, and by Wabash Valley College.
And then it seems that Maddox Potts and Zach Foster have kind of got a pretty good connection going through this first half of the season. Is it fair to say that Maddox has become the target one, so to say?
Yeah, the stats would say that. I think us as an offense, I think one thing Zach's doing a really good job of is, understanding the defense and where the ball needs to go. I think we all four of our receivers are very, very capable. So, we're not trying to target a specific guy. Maddox has done a great job of getting open, and the ball's found him with coverage. But we feel like all four of our guys, are very capable of making plays, and they all did on Friday night. And I thought our receiving core played really well. Lloyd's catch in the end zone was a heck of a throw, and a heck of a catch on a big third down conversion. Seth Parsons had a huge catch on our sideline, and Grant had a bunch of big catches for us. So I thought the receiving core played pretty well, and I thought, for the most part, our protection held up, against a really good front. We kind of knew going into the game, you know, we wanted to run the football. We always do, but we knew it was going to be some tough sledding inside with their front seven, and what we were able to do running the football. So that kind of played true. And then I thought in the second half that kind of allowed South Warren to pin their ears back a little bit, and bring some pressure and stuff. And we got to get better at running the football, but a lot of the credit goes to South Warren and some of the players they had on the interior that made it tough to run.
And Lloyd Sellers, obviously, he didn't play at the beginning of the season, but these past 2 weeks, he played briefly at Princeton, played a lot against South Warren, and played well. How happy are you with his integration back into this offense after not being able to play the first couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think that's tough to do, and you miss a lot of reps, through the preseason part as well. So I thought last week, I guess 2 weeks ago at Princeton, was really good to get him in and just kind of get his feet wet a little bit. Lloyd's a dynamic player, and like I said, the catch in the end zone, one to make the catch, but two to get his foot down, was a heck of a play. And, he brings some explosiveness to our offense, but I think he's integrated really well. It probably wasn't the prettiest whenever he got back into practice, which is to be expected. But he's caught a lot of footballs since he's been cleared to kind of get himself ready to go. And I thought he played really well on Friday.
And Zach seemed to handle the pressure of South Warren really well, especially in that first half. What do you make of his performance?
I thought Zach played phenomenal. He took a big step forward, but I think it's one of those things. You look at where we're at offensively, or from in week 4, where we were in week 4, and where we were in week 1. And it's a big jump, and part of it is Zach's playing better, but it's kind of amazing when you protect the quarterback better and receivers are in the right spots and they're doing their job of getting open. A quarterback looks a lot better. And I think that's the case. I think we're playing a lot better around Zach. I think Zach's, getting a little bit more experience, which is allowing him to kind of understand when and where the ball needs to go. But I think the biggest thing is, we're playing well around Zach, and that's kind of allowing him, to do his thing.
When we return to the Coach Nick Hart Show, we talk about Cam Novotny's great leg and some of the most exciting finishes in the history of Southridge versus Gibson Southern.
You're listening to The Nick Hart Show, brought to you by Heritage Federal Credit Union, Heritage Petroleum, Hillside Gardens Landscaping and Garden Center, HMC Gears, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Nathan Belote, by Jarbo Tax Service, JMCO Technologies, Johnson Commercial Mowing Incorporated, K&K Excavating Incorporated, Casey Fuquay, State Farm Agent, Kathy Solman Photography, Key Construction Company Incorporated, Kiesel Wagner Survey LLC, by Lively Machine Company, by Landscape Supply Incorporated, Lowry Ag, by Mytech Systems, Morton Solar LLC, by National Vet Help, by Ohio Valley Grain Inspection Incorporated, Parker Excavating, and by Perfect Climate Heating, Air and Plumbing.
And Cam Novotny so far this year has been great. Kickoffs, punts. I mean, how pivotal is it for him to be able to easily put the ball in the back of the end zone on a kickoff and have the opposing team start at the 20-yard line pretty much every drive?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you just look at South Warren. The game last year, they had 3 special teams touchdowns against us. So, for him to be able to eliminate that play and make him start at the 20 is huge. I think it's one of the most tough things in high school football. You give up a touchdown, and then the opposing team puts the ball in the end zone, and now you got to go 80 yards to try and answer, um, the previous touchdown. It's really there's a lot of hidden yardage in it, and he's got great hang time on his punts. I think he punted 4 times on Friday. None of them were returned. So that's it's a big thing. We had to, whatever we had 6 kickoffs and 4 punts, we had 10 kicks that we could potentially have to cover on Friday, and we only had to cover one of them. That's an amazing weapon to have, and you kind of look at it in the yardage. They outgained us by, I don't know, 70 yards. But the game came down to the very end, and there were a couple of turnovers, or each team had 1 turnover. So there was a lot of hidden yards in there that I thought we gained, because of what Cam's able to do.
And moving on to Southridge, which is your opponent this week, I got a question from Scotty, and he just is interested in seeing what are your 2 favorite exciting finishes from this series during your tenure here at Gibson Southern, since there have been so many highly contested and very competitive games between Gibson Southern and Southridge.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a biased question there by Scotty. One of them involves his boy. We were down there. The years kind of run together, but we were there one year and down 7. Brady Allen hit Seth DeLong for a big touchdown, 80-something yards on a 4th down. And then we scored with very little time left and went for 2 and won by 1. And then we had one here where they were beating us at halftime. Our starting quarterback got knocked out. Chandler McKee was a receiver, came in at quarterback. We get a big 4th down stop late and beat them by 3. That was another really exciting finish. But I think that just kind of goes to show where this series has been. You got 2 good programs, a lot of respect for Southridge and what they do. And, it always seems to be a tight, exciting game whenever we play.
And Southridge 3-1 this season. They've won 3 straight, all of which scoring over 40 points. How do you, as a defense, make sure that you're able to stop this high-powered offense?
Yeah, it's difficult. And they've changed a little bit, just schematically, from what they've been doing in the past. Their base stuff is still there. Not quite as much, misdirection and jet and double handoff and stuff as they've had in the past. It's still there. But they're a little bit more spread, with like a wing and 3 receivers than what they've done in the past. I think the Noah Wright kid is a really explosive running back. They're big up front. They start 5 senior offensive linemen, which is really impressive. I think that's a big key to what they do offensively, and there's some good weapons outside. They do a really good job of mixing it up, and I think they're always one of the toughest teams to prepare for. I think offensively they've always done a great job of knowing how they're going to attack you and doing a good job. You take this away, they're going to attack in this way. They always have answers, and so you got to make sure that you're really sound defensively and ready to, you can say like, hey, we want to stop buck sweep, but if you still out to stop buck sweep, they're going to have a couple of answers that are really going to hurt you. So I think they've always done a great job and always been very, very difficult to prepare for with their offense.
And this isn't a conference game because of the split from big school to small school, but it seems in the past there have been heightened emotions coming into this game. Do you expect the same this week, or are you just going to go in as any other football game?
Yeah, I think there are heightened emotions because I think there's lot of, I think there's mutual respect. I know we respect the heck out of them. And anytime you're going up against a great football program, your kids are excited for the challenge. I thought last week you could really tell a difference at practice with the way our kids were focused and preparing. I think that just kind of raises your level to be able to play people like South Warren and Southridge, and the better the opponent, the better you have to prepare, and there's more on the line, and I think that's a reason for that. I think it's a healthy rivalry with a lot of respect between the two schools and two programs, and like I said, I think they do a great job, and so it's a big challenge, and I think it's a challenge for both programs. And so to your question, I think that's what kind of leads to that.
When we return to the Coach Nick Hart Show, we talk about preparation offensively for Southridge and what it's like to have the whole community behind the program.
You're dialed in to the Nick Hart Show, brought to you by Whole Concrete Construction, Prodigy Mold and Tool Incorporated, by Pro Rehab of Hobstadt, Prudential Advisors, The Barthel Agency, Rawhide Golf Supplies, Riano Family Fitness, Sandy's Pizza and Mini Storage, Shearer Monument, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Singleton's Country Kennel, Stodgel Funeral Home, Team Black Law PC, by Tai Chow, The Brass Ring and Pizza Kitchen, The Image Inks Company, Titan Construction Partners, TYFL, the Titan Youth Football League, by Varnado Construction, Vomac Truck Sales and Service Incorporated, We Simply Clean, by Whitledge Tree Service, and Young's Auto Body. Time to go back now to the Nick Hart Show.
And speaking on preparation, Southridge, their past two games, they've given up 7 points total. So how, as an offense, do you go and attack this defense?
Yeah, they're always stingy defensively. Moving the ball against them is like going to the dentist. It's not a lot of fun. They do a great job of getting penetration and pressure on the quarterback. They're really active up front and disruptive. We've got to do a great job up front and how we're going to block in the run game and protect. I think they do such a good job up front. That's where it really starts. They're really disruptive. They get a lot of tackles for a loss. They put you in tough situations where you're not on schedule. And so, I think that's a big thing for us is, we want to get in, manageable situations and not be in 2nd and 12 and, situations like that. So, winning first down is big. We talk a lot about third down efficiency and stuff, but a lot of your third down efficiency is going to be how you do on first down, right? And putting yourself in those manageable situations. So, that's a big thing is to kind of, not allow that penetration and disruption and stay on schedule. And then you're going to set yourself up for a better chance to be successful.
And Scotty and I during the broadcast on Friday talked about staying on schedule, and with the run game, just getting 3 yards on first down is staying on schedule. Do you think you'll be able to do that more effectively this week against Southridge than you were against South Warren, which really didn't let you run the football at all?
I hope so. I think it's a different type of challenge. Like South Warren had a 330-pound interior defensive lineman, and I thought they had another really good interior linemen, and their linebackers fly around. We knew it was going to be tough inside against them. Now, Southridge doesn't present the exact same challenge, but like I talked about, I think they're fast up front. They're disruptive. They get on the move. It's going to be difficult and something we have to do. But it's it's a different type of challenge, with what just, different athletes in there and a different type of scheme and what they're going to do. So still a challenge. It's going to be different than last week, but something we got to get better at. I felt like we were just kind of trying to mix in the run last Friday to keep their defense honest, and I think we kind of did keep them honest until halftime, and then they started kind of selling out against the pass. But no, it's definitely something that we want to improve at and get better at. And again, it's not going to be easy this week with what they do up front, but hopefully we're a little bit more efficient in the run game.
And lastly, Coach, this past Friday, there was standing room only at the Jewel. I mean, that place was packed with homecoming TYFL night. What is it like for you and for the players knowing that you have an entire community behind you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And sometimes you're kind of locked into the game and you don't really see it until you watch film or see pictures of it or something. But it was an incredible crowd. I could hear them, especially the crucial points of the game. It was loud. I thought it was a great environment. It was a great high school football game. I would have liked to have been on the winning end, but it was a really good high school football game. Two teams kind of, competing, especially in the second half there. It was tight the whole time. So I thought it was a great game, a great atmosphere. It kind of felt like a playoff, type of game, just with the atmosphere and how tight it was. So that's good experience for us moving forward. But our fans in the community are unbelievable in their support of the program.
Well, Coach, thank you so much, and good luck on Friday.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Nick Hart Show, our weekly chat with the head coach of the Gibson Southern Titans, Nick Hart. It's brought to you by the Gibson Southern Football Boosters, including Absolute Custom Machine LLC, ADG Architecture and Design Group Limited, Angermeyer Electric, A&T Concrete Supply, Brian Stevens Homes, Brett's Car Care, Carriage Inn, ChipsSellMyTees.com, by Cordray Insurance Agency LLC Shelter Insurance, by Davis Brothers, Daylight Land Management LLC, Daywig Meats of Hobstock, Dilbeck Properties, Diversified Instruments, Duke Energy, Emerson Cattle Company, ERA First Advantage Realty Rodney Langford, by Fast Break Convenience Stores, by Flanders, by Fort Branch Car Wash, Foster Construction, Bryman Land Service LLC, by Hobstadt Summerfest, by Heritage Federal Credit Union, Heritage Petroleum, Hillside Gardens Landscaping and Garden Center, HMC Gears, in memory of Darwin and Eric Callis, by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Nathan Belote, by Jarbo Tax Service, JMCO Technologies, Johnson Commercial Mowing Incorporated, K&K Excavating Incorporated, Casey Fuquay, State Farm Agent, Kathy Solman Photography, Key Construction Company Incorporated, Kiesel Wagner Survey LLC, by Lively Machine Company, by Landscape Supply Incorporated, Lowry Ag, by Mytech Systems, Morton Solar LLC, by National Vet Help, by Ohio Valley Grain Inspection Incorporated, also by Parker Excavating, Perfect Climate Heating, Air and Plumbing, by Pole Concrete Construction, Prodigy Mold and Tool Incorporated, by Pro Rehab of Hobstadt, Prudential Advisors, The Barthel Agency, Rawhide Golf Supplies, Riano Family Fitness, Sandy's Pizza and Mini Storage, Shearer Monument, Scotty's Lawn Equipment, Singleton's Country Kennel, Stodgel Funeral Home, Team Black Law, PC, by Tai Chow, The Brass Ring and Pizza Kitchen, The Image Inks Company, Titan Construction Partners, TYFL, the Titan Youth Football League, by Varnado Construction, Vomac Truck Sales and Service Incorporated, We Simply Clean, by Whitledge Tree Service, and Young's Auto Body. The Nick Hart Show, a special production of the Wabash Valley College Radio, TV, and Digital Media